hoping that. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Nicholas, nice to see you today.
Yeah, it's 11:15 already. My God, we are late by 14 minutes. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, you know why we're late?
But the thing is, like, the internet and the connection and everything has been really bad today. So I'm hoping we will have the opportunity to do the live. Technology happen and break from time to time.
Nicholas, you know why I'm wearing a green shirt?
No?
Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last week. I'm not sure you caught that.
Well, I certainly saw all your texts you sent me. So
I'm still a
well,
little excited. The parade's happening right now in the middle of Philadelphia. 1 million plus people.
you're not even there? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We have to rush this live one. All right, let's go. All right, everybody, this is Nico with eStreamy, the company that gets you live stream and video commerce on your site, social media, email, SMS, wherever you are, the video is shoppable. So excited to be here. I'm here with my great friend Matt from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. We have some cool, interesting stories for you this week. A lot of things going on, especially with some reports from e-marketers. Interesting news coming up and pipeline coming up with AI and stuff in the video commerce, and obviously the behemoth TikTok and some news on that space. But before we go there, Matt, why don't you start the show and tell us why we're here?
Thank you, Nicholas, and thank you everyone for tuning in. This is the VCommerce podcast. Nicholas and I work in video commerce. What is video commerce? It's the social media, social selling platform that started with DRTV, graduated into QVC and HSN, and now social shopping anywhere from your tablet, from your phone, your computer. Put a camera in front of someone, they can sell products. So Nicholas and I work through different phases of video commerce. It's a category and it's a market that has blown up over the last few years. Really big, beyond QVC and HSN. So we talk about the top 2 or 3 or 4 stories of the week. And one of the things we always talk about, because you have to talk about it, is TikTok Shop. And TikTok, there's news every single week from that company. They're, simply in the U.S., and I read a lot of international news on TikTok Shop as well. It's a lot bigger, seemingly, in Europe and elsewhere in the world than it is in the U.S. But in the U.S., there's stories every single week, Nicholas. We kind of cover the story this week. They are launching in Mexico. So when I talked to you in the pre-show about this, you said about time. I guess it's a great country for this type of platform. Tell me why.
I think the Latin culture is a very social culture by nature, right? So this is a group of folks that really love to engage with each other. They are always in community and have this thing that is very different from a lot of different of other cultures, especially like the US culture, for instance. So you've got a very social culture already. And then they are mobile, they are more mobile first than the US, right? So because of economic power and everything, mobile came and was more adopted quicker than desktop and everything. So you've got a very strong mobile force here. And so I do think that when you combine those 2 elements, the social and the mobile, it really makes for explosive growth. Now, one of the reasons probably TikTok has not been able to crack this market, and many platforms haven't cracked, is still a very cash, it's a very cash type transaction, right? So you go to a store and you exchange cash. The digital wallet is still something. Obviously, there's a lot of digital transaction, but this is not as implemented and as strong as in other part of the US. And so that's certainly one of the blowback is a lot of transactions are done through cash and people going to a place to exchange money or like a physical. And so I was talking to a client literally like yesterday that was trying to get into TikTok, and that is a big concern for him. Like, how do I need to be on TikTok. I need to develop my social presence. I'm a social company, but how is the consumer going to react to actually use their credit card? And right now that was the big is big unknown.
Yeah, well, Obviously TikTok is big. It's in Canada, I think, right? It's in Canada already. It's obviously in the US. It's getting into Mexico. So North America is now covered through TikTok Shop at the moment, right? So we'll see how this grows. And I'm curious on everything, as we've talked about probably ad nauseum, whether the TikTok ban will be upheld in April or not. These other platforms surfacing and other things happening. We talked about it last week, I think, where YouTube advertises on TikTok now. So TikTok accepts YouTube advertising because YouTube is doing that to kind of garner customer base, right?
I don't know what I just read. I think it was yesterday on the information newsletter. Great newsletter, by the way. Kaya, I think her name is. She does a creator newsletter. It's really fantastic from the information. And she was saying that there has been a kumbaya moment this week at TikTok because they recover 100% of advertisement revenue that they had lost with the ban. So, when the ban came on, a lot of advertisers had decided to pause advertisement on TikTok. But apparently this week they recovered everything. So you can say whatever we want, but it sounds like TikTok is here and is strong. And actually, the ban did something great to them. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday that Apple reopened TikTok on their App Store. So now they are on the App Store. And since with the ban, there has been so much publicity and information, and I think like this fear of missing out, right? I'm missing out on TikTok. I had not used it yet. And so they have MAU to the roof, like monthly active users. They are to the roof. And so it's kind of interesting, right? So maybe I think maybe it would have served them more than actually deserve them, right? So if they
That's
end up
funny.
finding a solution for them, I think maybe that would have been the great outcome, was to have Trump in power telling them, not Trump, the administration telling them we're going to ban you, because just it made the app even more on fire than it is today.
Well, I think I told you, we talked to a TikTok Shop brand representative team the week it got banned, and then the week after. So we literally talked to them Friday and then Monday between the ban and reinstallment, and they said, like, now's the time. If you're a company wanting to jump into this space, like, do it now, because it's going to get so much bigger. And I would say, as your point being, if April comes and they decide to like release the chains on TikTok Shop here in the US, it's really going to explode. And any press is good press is the motto, I guess, that you've heard before. And that's exactly what you're talking about, Nicholas. Yeah. So people are still talking about TikTok, people without any kind of exposure to the platform or learning about it, which goes hand in hand with video commerce.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking about trends and everything, there's another newsletter that I love. It's called Stack Marketer. Really fascinating newsletter. It's for the masses, right? So they have a really very strong subscribe base. But they published this article a couple of days ago, actually, on February the 2nd. And by the way, happy Valentine's to all the Valentine out there. They were saying the 5 under the radar trends for marketer. And there's 2 that I really thought was interesting. First is ad frustrate user more than lack of security. And so when you think of this, it's basically people are frustrating with online ad. And it's not nothing new. It's not nothing no one is aware of. And I think we all have experienced that. But what does it mean? It means, like, how do we make your ad more part of what I'm consuming every day, right? And so we've been talking about this. It's, how do you leverage maybe user-generated content? How do you make your ad something a little bit less aggressive and more into my day-to-day? Personalization is a big thing, and I think we're going to see a lot of things going on that space. So I think that is an interesting spin on that trend. The other trend that I thought was kind of interesting, and I think it tied up to a Super Bowl event, which is some brand fear social media can tarnish their reputation. And I don't know if you heard the story between Olipop and Poppy over the weekend, Matt, just right before the Super Bowl. But basically, Poppy, I think, sent out to create buzz about 25 dispenser, like some of those self-serve dispenser where you can actually put money on and then you get your drinks.
Large machines that are normally in buildings and hospitals and things like that.
Yeah. So they sent like $25 like color team to Poppy, and you can you have a lot of Poppy drinks and everything, and then there was a big backlash in their community saying, well, this is a lot of money being spent for creator for nothing. Or it's something that's not going to have that has no purpose, no really where the brand was hoping to kind of boost the creator content from that. And then what happened is that inside that thread, Olipop just starting to say, and by the way, I think a machine like this costs about 25 grand, which inflame even more everyone. And then the Poppy CEO had to come in and say, no, don't worry, we will be using those machine again. And so I think he turned it on a thing where he says, so where do you want to see next the machine going? But I think it's kind of what we're saying here, right? It's like some brand fear of a social media can tarnish your reputation is really that, right? Like the virality of comments and the engagement you can get on social can be scary. But at the end of the day, we were just saying bad press is good press. At the end of the day, we talked about you. People are talking. We are just talking about Poppy and Olipop. I don't find a reason why we would have talked about them if that were not for that. So I think it's great to have those moments. And I think that's what social media is really about creating that. So is there risk about social media? Yes, absolutely. But is it worth the risk? I do think so. So I think I just thought that was two interesting thing. Obviously, there's more thing, but just check out this report and we'll put it there in the comment.
Well, like what I think it's just so funny. It's 2025. Oh my goodness, social media. There was a backlash through social media. Like, isn't that social media's middle name to create controversy? and we're in 2025. You have to be a part of social media. So it's almost funny that this is a story that they're upset they got negative feedback through social media. Like, come on, like all press is good press. You're making the wrong decision now. Talking from a CEO level or EVP kind of a thing, like they want to control the narrative from what comes through their social and what comes out of their business. But now we're talking about consumer generated content. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what is going to be said, whether it be positive or negative. So you kind of have to roll the dice. You have to have a great product first off and make the best decisions you can when it comes to marketing and social media. But when you're talking about this kind of thing, like it's almost foolish to get upset from a brand perspective. Like, don't worry about it. We made this decision. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, and Matt, you're making an interesting point that is worth a transition here. You're talking about user generated content. Guess what's the future is about now? Maybe it's AI generated content. So over the week, I have this group chat that I'm following. That was a former TikTok shop talk group on WhatsApp, whatever, and then they spin off and did a European one. And on the European one, over the weekend, like there's this company that say, hey, look at what we just developed. It's an AI tool. And look at that, Matt. So I'm going to play here. And so what we're seeing here is a woman that is wearing an interesting dress. It's a yellow dress, and you can see her moving around, and it's really give you a perspective on the dress. What you don't know, Matt, is that dress and that movie that we're seeing here is fully AI generated. And it's as impressive as it is. Well, basically, those people, what they did is they went and scrapped this website. So it's a Mika fashion website. So I don't know what country is that, but basically they took that. It has a bunch of photo, and they took those photos, and from that generated with AI a bunch of degraded video. If you look at the video against those photos, you can see that you probably have seen, Matt, that the facial, like the face of the person is not really it's not very the same. So the AI is probably made some modification. It's you cannot clearly say that's the same person, and there's some AI there. But I don't know what you felt, but like this movie, technically, right, that clip of 26 seconds looks pretty real and pretty astonishing. And so that I think it's interesting when you talk about user generated content. Now we're getting into the AI generated content. and maybe there'll be this AI GC coming up as a big, will be the new big trend. But that's kind of fascinating to see that and how easy those guys were to generate.
Nicholas, I don't know if I've conveyed how I feel about AI to you before. I think, once a month I give my disdain over this. My first thought when you're showing me this video is, did this young woman who took a still shot give them rights to make her an AI generated video? And that's one thing. So is there a legal thing? This young girl, can she go back to this company and say, I didn't do that? Second thing is, like, where's the genuineness and the connection between the consumer and the content? Like, there is none. There is no genuineness. It's AI generated. So everything I'm hearing about what makes this all so great, this whole TikTok shop and TikTok in general and social media, is the connection. It's the one-on-one connection with the consumer, or the connection with friends, family, all that kind of thing. AI is going to muddy the waters. There's no doubt about it. And this video is only an example of what's happening today. You mentioned in the pre-show meeting that we had about Firework doing something similar, right?
Yeah. So what I've been told, and this is a rumor, I don't know if it's true, but I think I've seen some release. In April, they are looking to launch AI avatar that will do. You can reach out to them and ask questions. So it sounds like it's an avatar mixed with like a chatbot. So you can have a conversation, and so similarly to get into a stream where you feel you're talking to a person, the idea is like you're talking to this avatar and this avatar is presenting product to you. Very interesting concept. I think at the end of the day, Matt, I think, you and I, we talk to a lot of brands, and the number one thing when the brand is not video first or video second, I will say, is how do I create content? I don't have enough content. It's too much work, it's too much effort and everything. I think everyone wants to create more video. Everyone wants to create more content, more genuineness and everything. But the reality is you've got maybe 5 or 10% of the whole brand out there that have nailed down how to do it. And then you've got the tail, the 90 to 95% of people that says, I want to do it. I don't know how to because I'm not a video guy. And if I can have a tool helping me out doing it, then great, because it's certainly better than not doing anything, what I'm doing today. And so I think that's where it lands, right? So I think I agree with you that, we're talking about genuineness and the fact of making it work is about creating those connections. But at the end of the day, you've got a whole suite of merchants out there that are either capital constraints or resource constraints or just, creative constraint, right? They don't have the creative power, the creative brain in the company to create this content. And so having tools to help them out is what they think the solution. Is that the real solution? Is that going to help them with sales and everything? I think it's a TBD thing. And to answer your first concern, I'm pretty positive that woman didn't give any rights to do that video, because this is like an Indian website. I don't know. I never heard about this website before. I don't even know if it's from India, but I'm pretty sure they just grab this and turn it into a video.
Isn't this what Reels are? And what's the other word? The quick videos that you see on YouTube and
the shorts, right?
The shorts or Reels or whatever you call them. They have generated content. It's a long format. It could be a minute and a half or 2 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. And then they make reels out of it. And they pull from the generated content and they pull highlight reels, a one-liner or a little part of the conversation. That's the content that is consistent throughout the week to keep the brand relevant on that platform. You look up something on YouTube, then you're going to get bombarded on reels about that content. Yeah. Real quick. I think that's great. What you're saying is like just all fabricated.
So honestly, 3 years ago, we would have had that conversation. I will jump on it, say, yeah, you're so right. Repurposing is so great and everything. Today, with looking at, what, three years of being in the video commerce space, seeing what brands are doing, seeing results and everything, I'm not 100% sure that the right strategy is to take a long form content that you're creating through a live stream, chopping up and then using that as your short form. I think it's a very different medium. I think it's tailoring a very different audience. It could be an element to attract to the next live, like, hey, like you do when you're on TV, you have like a prelude of what's going to happen on the next show. And so, and they are showing a little clip of what happened on the past show. And I think doing some of that as a teaser is great, but that is not the core strategy, right? It's just teasers within an overall bigger strategy for your short form. I don't think it's a substitute. It's more like a complementary thing. So that would be my comment on your on your.
I agree. But isn't the general guideline in guiding brands is you have to be in front of your consumer all the time. So you have to generate content every day. If you pull reels or shorts into that content, you only created it one time, you edit it, chop it up, you post it every day at noon, then you're in front of that audience every day. So it's a great discussion. I mean, it's a great discussion to have, like how to grow through that consistency of being in front of your consumer through social.
Yeah, love it. Well, Matt, it has been an incredible conversation. We only have 3 topics and we have 20 minutes. I was thinking it's going to be shorter this week, but here you go. You know, we still had a lot to talk about. So great to see you again. We are here every Friday on LinkedIn, Facebook, and also on YouTube. We are actually repurposing this content and have it on the live e-commerce podcast. So if you're on Spotify, comment. And we actually have the comment section, so you can actually comment on that. Feel free to share with your friend. We would love that. Feel free to tell us topic. And if you are a genuine person about interested in video commerce, so if you're like just trying to sell your stuff, there's no way to reach out to us because we won't get you on the show. But if you have a genuine point of view on video commerce, something that is really exciting, either from your experience or things you've done, and you want to come, please let us know. We would love to have you. Thanks, Matt. And I guess I'll see you again next Friday, right?
Yes. See you in a week. Have a great weekend, everyone.